Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Mother and Daughter, written by Gary Soto. Now, before we go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. So, Mother and Daughter by Gary Soto is a very interesting short story. It's a very simple short story. It's the relationship between Yali, the daughter, and Mrs. Moreno, the mother. And Mrs. Moreno is very interesting woman. She's a very large woman, a very big woman. That's how she's described within the work. Yali is her young daughter who's, young and a teenager and, starting to date and go out on dates and all these types of things that, young teenage girls love to do. And her and her mother, they have a really great relationship throughout the first couple not chapters, but paragraphs. We understand their relationship. They're watching movies together. They're talking together. We understand that they don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of you know they're very poor. All right, they're very poor. They don't have a lot of money. This is a Hispanic family, and there's no father. We don't get any. We don't hear anything about a father or Yali's father. It's just the mother and daughter, and they're living together, and they're doing whatever they can to survive. Mrs. Moreno has done what she can to provide for her daughter. She doesn't have a lot of money, but she has some money for college stashed away. She has a roof over her head, and she has food for her daughter to eat. So she's done all right to take care of herself and her daughter. But they don't have excess amounts of money. They don't have a lot of money. And so Yali, it comes to a point where she has to go to this dance. She can't afford to buy new clothes, or the mother can't afford to buy new clothes. And, this causes some friction between the two of them. Ultimately, the mother has all these hacks of poverty. When you don't have money, you try to be as creative and inventive as you can be to make it. And so there's this dress that Yali had. They dye it black, and Yali takes this dress to the dance. There's this boy that Yali loves, that she wants to be with, that she's in love with. And basically, what happens is, they go to the dance. She meets him. They dance, and everything's going well, and they're happy, and everything's going as you would want it. But then it starts to rain. It rains, and all the girls, they run into the building and run into the school. The boys carrying the stuff, and the girls are in the bathroom, and they're trying to fix themselves up. They're trying to fix their hair. They're trying to fix their dresses. There's a girl where her dress is ruined, and there's nothing you can do about it. Basically, Yali, what happens to Yali is that her dress starts to drip because the black, they use to color the dress or to dye the dress. The black is just dripping off, drip, drip, black drip. It drips off, and she runs home in the rain, and the dress keeps dripping, and the water keeps washing, the ink, the coloring off. And Mrs. Moreno doesn't understand until Yali's like, listen, the dress is horrible, the ink is coming off, and this black ooze is just coming off the dress, and she's embarrassed because she was in love. The boy that she was really obsessed with, that she really wanted. She was dancing with him, and it started to really rain. It was going perfect, but then it starts to rain, and her dress starts dripping, and everything was ruined. And she says it's because they're poor and because her mother doesn't have any money, which really hurts her mother because her mother has done all she can to provide for Yali. And Yali does understand that, but sometimes the poverty does get to them. And so the story goes on, and the boyfriend does, or the crush does call Yali, and he's like, hey, let's go to the movies. Let's go to the movies, and let's go on a date. And the mother had $100 stashed away, and she takes that $100 and gives it to Yali, and they go buy a really nice skirt, really nice clothes at the mall. And at they just go in buy, not at the mall. They just go and buy nice clothes, and then yeah, Yali goes on a date, and that's pretty much the end of the story. It's just pretty much this reality between Yali and her mother and their relationship and Yali's early dating life. And ultimately, how her mother just comes through for her. Her mother is like her number one champion. Her mother's always fighting in her corner, and her mother helps her to start, her dating life. And Yali, although it's not always perfect, being poor, but when you have a mother that can fight for you, that is really interesting. In terms of deeper meaning here, this is really not about Yali's dating life. The short story is really not a lot about Yali's dating life. It's about the mother and daughter. I mean, the name of the short story is Mother and Daughter. It's the relationship of the mother and daughter, and they really do have a loving relationship. They care about each other's feelings, emotions. They care about each other's futures. They care about each other's days. They care about each other. Like Mrs. Moreno, she really cares about Yali, her education, her life, her love life, every part of her daughter's life. She really, Mrs. Moreno really cares about Yali, really cares about her daughter. And Yali's not a horrible kid. She also loves her mother. They're like best friends. They're like two best friends that support each other, that are there for each other. The mother is does a lot to support Yali. She does a lot. She sacrifices a lot to support Yali. And at the same time, Yali, although she's not, in the same way doing the same thing for her mother, but she really understands when her mother is always there for her, backing her up, and when her mother meets her. She really understands that love that her mother has for her, and she loves her mother to pieces. I mean, it's so loving that they pull pranks on each other, they joke around with each other, they play sports together, they spend summers together, winters together. It's mother and daughter love. It's really, they're there for each other. They're always connected. Even when they're angry at each other, they always come back to each other. It's almost like it's this relationship that is solid, that they rely and lean upon each other, even when the outside world tries to make the relationship stressful. They always find a way back to one another. Mother and daughter, Yali and Mrs. Moreno, nothing can break them apart. So that love, that's what this short story is about. That relationship between mother and daughter, that's what this is about. The boyfriend, the crush that can't get in the way of the relationship between mother and daughter. The school, the rain, the dress, the poverty, none of that can ruin the relationship that Yali has with her mother, that Mrs. Moreno and Yali have as mother and daughter. So that is the short story right there. Very beautiful short story that shows us the relationship between these two characters. So that's all I have to say about it. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment. And I'll see you guys in the next video.